Security forces are locked in a gun battle as we speak with terrorists in the Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. 5 security personnel have lost their lives, while 2 terrorists have been gunned down. It all started around 4 a.m. local time. A CRPF camp came under attack in a high security area close to the offices of the district commissioner and senior police officials on the Shopian-Pulwama highway in Jammu and Kashmir. An encounter followed. According to latest reports, 3 terrorists were involved. Security forces have contained them in 2 blocks of the camp. The army has called the Pulwama encounter a Fidayeen attack. All families in the affected blocks of the camp have been evacuated and accounted for.
In the early hours this morning, 2 terrorists had entered the DPL Pulwama, and they entered the family quarters, and there were a lot of families there. So in the initial action, we have lost JK police constable and 2 CRPF persons, and then thereafter, of course, we have brought the families out from those blocks. Our troops are continuing with the operation, and hopefully in a short while from now, we will be able to eliminate the terrorists who are there.
Now, let's point out, since last year, the presence of terrorists in South Kashmir has increased, particularly in the area of Shopian. The operations against these terrorists continuing. They say that they've opened at least 7 to 8 new operating bases in Shopian. The situation is better than before, and people are carrying on with their day-to-day activities. The Jammu and Kashmir police has ruled out the possibility of any hostages being held by the terrorists. Jaish-e-Mohammed has claimed responsibility for the attack, and officials say the camp was targeted to inflict high casualties on forces, especially the troops based in the district police lines. The Pulwama attack was discussed during a high-level meeting chaired by Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Saturday.
कश्मीर में पुलवामा में इस वक्त जो एनकाउंटर चालू है, जो चल रहा है, उसके बारे में हुई, उसकी स्थिति का जायजा लिया गया। अभी तक 2 सीआरपी और 1 जेके पुलिस के जवान शहीद हो चुके हैं। टेररिस्ट ने एक बिल्डिंग में आग लगाई है, और टेररिस्ट की संख्या कितनी है ये अभी तय नहीं है, ये तय नहीं हो पाया है, लेकिन संख्या संभावित 2 से और 4 के बीच में है। 2 एसपीओ भी उस जहां पर टेररिस्ट होल्डअप हैं, वहां पर 2 एसपीओ भी फंसे हुए हैं।
All right, and for the very latest, let me get in Khalid Hussain, WION's correspondent. He's reporting from Srinagar. Raghvendra Rao is joining me live from the newsroom. Khalid, coming to you first. The latest, as we're hearing, is that 2 special police officers have been trapped in a building which was stormed by these terrorists. Khalid, if you can get us the very latest on what's happening there.
I want to update you on this, that just I spoke to the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir Police. He said me that the casualty has rose now around 6, because he said me that 2 CRPF personnel and 4 of Jammu and Kashmir Police have been martyred in this whole encounter. 3 Jammu Kashmir Police cops and 1 nursing orderly who was there in the building of E block, and the 2 militants have been gunned down till now. 1 more is holed up in the building. So operation is still on, and one more thing, all the 3 militants who have entered this premises in the morning are from Jaish-e-Mohammed, and are believed that all of them are Pakistanis, foreign nationals, and this was the group which around 2 months back have infiltrated from Punch and has crossed the Pir Gully and has reached to the Shupia area, which we earlier reported also. And this is the one of the group of that main group, because of 18 militants have crossed, and 3 of them have today planned this attack, and at around 4:20 morning they sneaked in to the premises of the district police lines, and then their appearance encounter have been seen since morning, and 4 Jammu Kashmir police cops, 2 CRPF persons are martyred, and 2 militants are till now gunned down. It's believed that 1 more is still in the building. However, the firefight has stopped, but the search is still on, and they are trying to retrieve the body of the third militant if he is not alive.
All right, Khalid, do stay with me. Raghavendra, this comes as one of the biggest attacks that we've seen in the last couple of days. The Jaish-e-Mohammed involved here. The security forces are calling this a clear case of a Fidayeen kind of an attack. And we're also hearing that the Home Minister has also reviewed the situation in a meeting that was held earlier today. What's the update? What's happening regarding the situation that's unfolding in Jammu and Kashmir?
Sana, this is one of the most audacious attacks in Jammu and Kashmir on a facility which houses police personnel and their families. Now here the idea was to strike at the very core of the state police, and this is the district police lines which is housed in this complex, and these terrorists have entered into this area, and probably the intention was to take family members of these personnel as hostages. That seems to have been prevented for now. That is what we are hearing from our sources in the Ministry of Home Affairs. There is no hostage situation. A couple of terrorists have been gunned down. 6 soldiers have been martyred. But yes, the number of exact terrorists, the exact numbers are still not available. There is a possibility that more terrorists could be in and around this area, and that is why the operation is still on. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh did review the situation of this ongoing encounter, which has been going on through the day, most part of the day today. And, as the day is about to end, one hopes that this comes to an end, this encounter is finished, because if it stretches late into the night, then it will become a huge challenge for the security agencies to get hold of these terrorists.
Absolutely, Raghavendra. Do stay with me. The visuals on the left-hand sides of your screen, in fact, now are from Jammu and Kashmir, where homage is being paid to the security personnel who've lost their lives in this operation that's still underway in Pulwama. As Khalid Hussain, our correspondent, was mentioning, this operation is still underway. 2 CRPF personnel have been killed. 4 from the Jammu and Kashmir police have been also killed in the encounter. So the loss there, as far as the Indian security forces are concerned, stands at 6. Meanwhile, we are getting reports that 2 terrorists have been neutralized and more might be holed up inside in that particular area. It's a residential complex in Pulwama where the operation is still underway. Khalid, coming back to you, give us a sense of the situation over there. We understand it's all very complicated at this point, and the security forces are still trying to assess the situation and to figure out how many terrorists are holed up inside the building. But one thing's certain, that all the civilians have been moved to safety, to safer areas.
Well, what DGP told me that around 28 persons were evacuated from those buildings. It was 2 buildings where 2 blocks, in fact, one E block and one C block, where militants were holed up. And the number of militants are expected are around 3 persons, 3 militants who have entered the premises today in early morning. And this time, the operation, what police sources are telling us, is at last stage, because the buildings have been blown up, and now the search have been started, and it's very they have to do the search very cautiously, because one militant is still alive, and if he fires back, then there can be more casualties. So the security forces are not taking any risk to lose any more security personnel, and they are doing very cautiously this operation in Pulwama this time. But what police said is that it's at its last stage, because as my colleague said, that if it goes for night, it is very dangerous for the security personnel, and because this area is very dense, and the law and order problem has already rose around the encounter site, and then it will be very hard to maintain the law and order as well as do the operation. So they will try to finish it this evening only, and what DG and also other top officials of security forces told me, that they are going to end it in few hours from now. So it's on last stage, but certainly This is a security breach because the DPL, District Police Lines, is heavily guarded by CRPF as well as Jammu Kashmir Police. So this is the question mark with the security position in Pulwama.
All right, and we're also hearing, in fact, that mobile internet services have been suspended in Pulwama ever since the news broke of this operation that's going on. Raghavendra, coming back to you, how do you see this attack, especially Jaish-e-Mohammed being behind this audacious attack, and the fact that it comes as a Fidayeen attack? It's perhaps the mission was to inflict maximum number of casualties, but thankfully that was averted due to the efforts by the Jammu and Kashmir Police, also the CRPF personnel.
Well, that's correct, Sana, and going by the sequence of events as far as this attack is concerned, it appears that, the idea was to strike at a residential complex where they could have inflicted maximum damage as far as human lives are concerned. The families of many of these policemen live on this campus. Also, when you attack a facility like this, you attack a place which houses the district police lines. It sends a far greater message as far as messaging of the entire thing is concerned. The attempt is to strike fear amongst the minds of those brave hearts who are serving the Jammu and Kashmir Police. Also to strike fear amongst their families that even they are not safe. That appears to be the intention. That was the motive to strike at this particular point. But the manner in which the security forces have gone about isolating these terrorists and localizing their presence in a particular area, now they are completely holed up. That is what we are given to understand. And it's just a matter of time before the remaining terrorists are either apprehended or gunned down.
All right, we leave it at that. Thanks so much, Raghavendra.